Oi, what's happening? I'm Eddie, the Skinhead Gourmet. Today we're making macaroni and cheese.
Scumbags in our neighborhood, high up our street. We know what they're thinking about. They're gonna get me. No one better try to take from us. They don't gotta rap the treat. We earned our way in this world by the work boots on our feet. It's justified, it's justified. Violence, violence. Justified, it's justified, it's justified. Violence, go! Bushers trying to shoot us. Bushers better run fast. Addicts trying to stab us. Addicts beat us.
So today I'm going to be making one of my favorite foods, macaroni and cheese. Something that can go from just passe and forgettable with a tiny little bit of effort can be something that's very memorable and tasty, easy to make, fun to eat, and it's hard to find anybody who doesn't like it. One of the best things to do when you're doing mac and cheese is to get everything ready ahead of time, because once you got your pasta cooked, it's all very quick, you throw it together, and it's something that you can just kind of put on the back burner literally while you're making the rest of your meal. Well, to get things started, I've got my water boiling for my pasta, and it's getting ready to come to a boil. So I've got another saute pan that I've put onto a high heat, and I'm going to start by adding my 2 tablespoons of butter right into it. And as that starts to melt, we're going to add our cup of milk. And we're just going to want to keep an eye on this, because as that milk starts to boil, you're going to want to start adding your cheese. But that's going to be the foundation for our sauce for our macaroni and cheese. So we've got our water at a nice rolling boil. We're going to take our pasta and add that right in. And figure we've probably got a few minutes until this will be ready. We're going to just make sure that we stir it so the noodles don't clump together. And while that's finishing to cook, we should be getting our cheese sauce just about finished. So while everything else is going, I've got my oven put on to about 400 degrees. After everything's done and put together, we're going to bake this for a little bit, and that's going to help really make it gooey and just kind of kick everything up a little bit. Okay, as you can see, our pan of milk is starting to boil. So we're going to have to get a spatula or a whisk and start mixing this up, or it'll boil over out of the pan. But once this gets started, we want to keep mixing for a minute. And we're going to start by adding in our Asiago cheese and just letting that incorporate and thicken up the sauce first. Also, this is a perfect time if you're going to choose to add a little bit of fresh parsley. Get this in so it has a little bit of time for the heat to kind of leach some of that wonderful flavor out of there, and let it mix up and get all through the sauce. Okay, now that our Asiago cheese has been melted and nicely incorporated, and it's starting to thicken the sauce a little, we're going to add our blue cheese. And again, we're going to want to make sure that we just keep stirring and make sure this is very well mixed in. We don't want clumps, we don't want it to be clumpy, and we don't want pockets where it's going to taste really strong in one bite and you're not going to get anything out of the next. You're also going to see as the blue cheese gets added, the entire sauce is going to change color a little bit. That's also going to be with the parsley. Once we add, that's one of the reasons that having the orange annatto flavored cheddar is going to help. It's going to give it more of a normal looking cheese color instead of a bluish green, which may turn a lot of people off. Okay, now the final step in our cheese sauce, we're going to slowly start adding the cheddar. This one you're not going to want to put everything in right away, because it's going to take a little bit of time for that cheddar to melt and kind of incorporate into the sauce. So put in a few blocks, get them a little stirred up until they start getting soft, and then add a little bit more. And I wish I could share how good this smelled through the camera. Just that blue cheese and parsley is starting to come up and hit my nose with that little finish of the Asiago, and you can just tell by the smell this is going to be a hell of a dish. Alright, so our noodles are finishing up. I took the cheese sauce off of heat so it can simmer for a second. So we got this one last thing I want to do before we start putting it together. I have my little stack of buttered salted crackers. I'm going to put these in a bowl. We're going to want to crush these as much as we possibly can. We want to pretty much make it into something akin to breadcrumbs. Just going to be a little bit crispier with a slightly different flavor. We just want these ready so once the noodles come off, we can slap everything together and get it into the oven. Alright, so I took my noodles out off of the heat once they were nice and soft. Still a tiny bit firm to the touch, but not completely mushy. We drained the water off of them. So now what we're going to do is take our cheese sauce and get this right into the pot so we can stir and incorporate this whole thing into one nice cohesive dish. Once we get this nice and stirred, you just want to make sure you've got cheese on all the noodles. We're going to move this into our small loaf pan, because this is how we'll be finishing it, and it's handy. This will be a wonderful way to store it after we're done in case we have any leftovers. It doesn't take up too much space, and it's easy to reheat it here. Now we're going to take our crushed up crackers, and we're just going to kind of make a nice little coating on the top. Just try to spread it as evenly as possible across all the macaroni. And also at this point, if you have any leftover Asiago cheese or Parmesan or Romano, it's nice to put a tiny little bit of this on top, as it'll help gratinate and just get make the brown crusty cheese. Also a little bit of parsley will not only add flavor, it'll make it look a little bit fancier when you take it out of the oven. So now that we've got this all put together, we're going to pop this in the 400-degree oven for a few minutes, and I'll show you how it looks. So after about 5 to 7 minutes in your oven, if you have a broiler on it, you want to pop that on for about another 1 or 2. That's going to make the top of your mac and cheese super crusty and make it really good. One thing I can't stress enough, keep an eye on it once you put it into the broiler. You'll start noticing those little cracker crumbs will start getting black very quick. But you want to take it out, you can see there's like a nice crust on top, and once you dig into it, it's nice and gooey and rich and just tastes fantastic. Enjoy. I'm Eddie, the Skinhead Gourmet. Oi!
Introducing urban menace, representing sharp, skinhead against racial prejudice. Step up!
You come at me with abuse. You come at me with threats. You come at me with your racist views. What's coming next? If you think I'm gonna listen or even change my mind, let me tell you something. You won't like what you find. I'm an urban menace, and I'm on the attack. My brain's ticking over, got no time to be slack. You can take me as I am, or not at all. I'm a shark, and I will never fall. The future is here. The past has gone. Time to look around you. The world has moved on. If we can't live together, there's no point going on. Put aside our differences, let's get along. I'm an urban menace, and I'm on the attack. My brain's ticking over, got no time to be slack. You can take me as I am,